right here at home. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family up here. 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast presents. It's your bull, Mr. Ohms. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you again for tapping back in here with the Main Thing Podcast presents. Your presence and your time here with us is truly appreciated. Now, I know y'all are wondering and scratching y'all head like, Mr. Owens, what are you doing back here again? Doesn't Big Hush usually handle the in-week videos? And I would say, y'all are 100% correct. He usually does. But this week, Big Hush unfortunately received some news and he had to take care of some very, very important business. So naturally, of course, I'm going to fill in. And the simple question is, am I my brother's keeper? And the simple answer is, yes, I am. But as a community and a family, let's show some love and send some support over to Big Huss during this trying time, because that's definitely what he needs. Look, Eagles family, this week, though, a lot has happened. We're talking about a historic contract extension, trade rumors surrounding one of the best young defensive players in all of the NFL, and the Eagles are already working the phones ahead of free agency looking at pass rush help. So today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about our Philadelphia Eagles. But before we dive into that, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure to turn on the noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood. Watch, so you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all. So let's start with the biggest news of the week. And I do mean the biggest, the largest. The Eagles have officially signed defensive tackle Jordan Davis to a 3-year, $78 million contract extension with about $65 million guaranteed. Now, one of my favorite movies had Cuban Gooding Jr. in it, Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. That's what Jordan Davis has said. And hold on, hey, Jordan, let me hold $1 real quick, man. But this deal is historic, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. This contract actually makes Jordan Davis the highest paid nose tackle in NFL history. I'm going to repeat that again. This contract actually makes Jordan Davis the highest paid nose tackle in NFL history, averaging about 26 million per year. Ooh, got multiple M's in the account now. Now, if you've been watching this team closely, this move shouldn't come as a surprise one bit for you. Davis just had his best season of his career, finishing with 70 plus total tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. And yeah, he played a major role in anchoring the Eagles' defensive line. What really changed last season was his conditioning and his snap count. Jordan Davis came into the season in the best shape of his career, and it showed. Instead of being just a run stuffing nose tackle, he started becoming a 3 down defensive presence. And for those who aren't familiar with that terminology, 3 down defensive presence means he's on the field for first down, second down, and third down, as opposed to just being a run stuffing nose tackle, which is usually for run downs, which is first and second down. Now he's a complete all around nose tackle, and we love to see it here in Philadelphia. And when you look at the Eagles' defensive philosophy, it makes perfect sense. Philadelphia has always believed in building from the trenches outward. Defensive dominant offensive line, dominant defensive line. That is the formula. So locking up Jordan Davis tells you something very clearly. The Eagles are committed to keeping the Georgia Bulldogs defensive line core together. But look, before I get into this next topic, Peloton, sponsor your boy Jordan Davis, man, because look, during the summer and training camp, my man was on the bikes doing work with the Peloton. So look, y'all might need to just slide him some little funds so he can go ahead and be the face of your brand. But this actually leads directly into the next storyline. Now, this is where things get interesting. According to reports around the league, multiple teams have reached out to the Eagles about defensive tackle Jalen Breadman Carter. Let me say that again. Teams are calling about Jalen Breadman Carter. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Eagles are shopping him, but it does mean other teams around the league understand something very clearly. Jalen Breadman Carter is one of the most dominating young defensive players in all of the NFL. When Carter is on the field, he completely changes the way offenses have to block the Eagles' defensive line. That means that he's being game planned and schemed against by offensive coordinators. Now, why are teams making the call? There are a couple reasons. First, Jalen Breadman Carter will eventually be eligible for a massive, and I do mean massive, contract extension. And when you just paid Jordan Davis, congrats to Jordan Davis with that contract extension, record money, teams around the league are wondering if the Eagles might eventually have to make some tough financial decisions. But let me make something very clear. Unless someone offers a massive haul of draft picks, it's very hard to imagine the Eagles moving on from a player of Jalen Breadman Carter's talents. Because the reality is this. The Eagles defense works best when Jordan Davis and Jalen Breadman Carter are collapsing the pocket from the interior. That's how you disrupt quarterbacks. That's how you win in January. Now, I'm going to keep it a bean with you. I get sick and tired every offseason. It's always reports about players potentially being traded from the Eagles. The media is constantly bashing the Eagles, whether that's national or local media. We just had to go through the Arthur Juan K trade rumors, and now we got Jalen Breadman Carter trade rumors. When are we going to catch a break over here? Because it's funny how people always say, oh, well, the Eagles aren't that good. The Eagles don't do this. The Eagles players are okay, but everybody always wants our players. They want our front office staff, and they want people from our coaching staff. It makes no sense. But if these reports are true, I don't want any of that. I want no parts because Jalen Breadman Carter is a generational talent. He is a core player for our defensive line, and not only our defensive line, but our defense as a whole. Jalen Breadman Carter should be able to get whatever money he commands, and I'm pretty sure that Howard Roseman will do everything in his power to keep Jalen Breadman Carter in Midnight Green and in Philadelphia. Okay, I don't want Breadman leaving the building at all. Now, while the Eagles are locking up players internally, they're also looking outside the building for help at edge rusher. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Eagles have inquired about a possible trade for Minnesota Vikings Pro Bowl pass rusher Jonathan Greenard. This is a very interesting situation, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. The Eagles are currently trying to re-sign edge rusher Jalen Phillips, and reports suggest his next contract could be over $20 million per year. But if that deal doesn't get done, the Eagles already have made contingency plans. Enter Jonathan Greenard. Now, if you're not familiar with him, here's what you need to know. Greenard has quietly been one of the most productive pass rushers in football over the last couple seasons. His productions include in 2023, he had 12 and a half sacks with the Houston Texans. He had 2024, he had 12 sacks with the Minnesota Vikings and earned his first Pro Bowl selection. Now, that's 24 and a half sacks over 2 seasons. That's the type of production that is exactly wanted and needed by the Eagles, especially on the defensive front. Because earlier last season, the defense struggled when they didn't have a true game-changing pass rusher off the edge. Once they added that presence via Jalen Phillips, we all saw the defense improved immediately under the guidance of Vic Fangio, Godfather Vic. So if Jalen Phillips does return, that will be great. But if he walks in free agency, the Eagles are clearly preparing for a plan B at pass rusher. And Jonathan Greenard could absolutely be that guy here in Philadelphia. But when you zoom out and look at everything that happened this week in totality, one thing becomes crystal clear. The Eagles are doing what they always do. They're staying aggressive. They're locking up their core players. They're exploring all trade possibilities, and they're making sure that the roster stays competitive moving forward. Shout out to Howard Roseman, the greatest GM in all of sports. Jordan Davis gets paid. Teams are calling about Jalen Breadman Carter, and the Eagles are already working the phones for more pass rush help. That's exactly what a front office should be doing this time of the year. But I want to hear from y'all, community. I want to hear from y'all, family. Do you think that the Eagles made the right choice by paying Jordan Davis? Should the Eagles even entertain trade offers for Jalen Breadman Carter? And if the Eagles can't re-sign Jalen Phillips, would you trade for Jonathan Greenard? Please drop y'all comments down below. We want to hear from y'all. We love hearing from our supporters and our family here at the Main Thing Podcast Presents. But look, that is the end of this end week video. No pun intended. Hopefully you all had a solid and strong week and y'all had a fun weekend. Plus getting prepared to have another upcoming great week. But please be on the lookout for more videos. Me and Big Hustle to keep dropping these things, throwing these things like they're your favorite flapjacks, hotcakes, pancakes, whatever you want to call them. We just going to continue dropping this content for y'all. Big Hus will be back next week. But to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure to turn on that notification bell, also known as the Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates. But in case y'all forgot who I go by, don't worry about it. I'll kindly remind you, I go by Mr. Owns, and this is the Main Thing Podcast Presents, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Hope you all continue having a blessed rest of the evening. It was a pleasure speaking with y'all, but until next time, y'all know it's always love.
I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what?